Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. We often talk about how impressive Tesla's vertical integration is and the advantages these offer. Not just the fact that Tesla are able to reduce costs as there's fewer other companies involved taking a cut from each and every process, but also the fact that the car is designed with a holistic approach, extending back to first principles design and engineering. As a result, this allows Tesla to go above and beyond and end up creating unique functionalities such as the octavalve, which not only cuts down on costs due to it being built in-house, but also ends up reducing actual parts that are necessary to achieve the same objective. Every part of the car is talking to each other. There's no compartmentalization. Everything is being designed to work in unison, rather than ordering parts from third-party suppliers and just trying to make them all work together. A lot of Tesla's parts are simply designed to work with other Tesla parts, as most efficient as possible. Of course, this will only continue to improve, and such improvements are encouraged at Tesla compared to the legacy autos. As I like to point out, Tesla make 27 production changes a week per model, whereas legacy autos make about 3 a year. I don't think that is nearly discussed enough, and is one of the reasons why Tesla is getting so much further ahead in manufacturing than every other auto company. And that is another reason why Tesla's vertical integration is just simply that amazing. Not only are Tesla saving money on the parts, but they work more efficient, and some are designed to do more jobs than one. For example, we see the new structural battery packs, again removing more unnecessary parts, and of course designed to connect to the front and rear die-cast pieces. And as we love to say, the best part is no part. The best process is no process. So Tesla's vertical integration adds additional efficiencies, cuts costs and weight, and that is generally what people think of when we mention vertical integration. We think of the manufacturing process, but Tesla are not that small-minded. They're looking at an even bigger picture. Tesla's vehicles side of the business don't view themselves as a company that makes and sells vehicles. That's actually not their industry. Tesla looks at it as an industry that transports people, or possibly things, from A to B. That is the business, the entire service of transportation. First principles thinking. What is a vehicle? A mode of transport that takes you places. So Tesla therefore want to control the whole experience of taking people or things from one place to another. I say control, but I mean improve the experience. And with vertical integration, we also hit economies of scale. Still, in this day and age, we do not have teleportation. Therefore, we still resort to a vehicle to transport us. Tesla's business model therefore revolves around all associated elements and costs of traveling in a vehicle. We've already covered the cost of the manufacturing and how Tesla are using vertical integration to create great efficiencies and reduce costs. And eventually, they will start with the raw materials from the ground to the finished product as close as possible. But what else? Well, a Tesla doesn't require any gasoline. They run on electricity, and a lot of people are using Tesla solar and battery to power their cars. Again, Tesla products. Tesla is creating the energy to power your vehicle with the aid of the sun. This is another element of vertical integration. Okay, sure, not every Tesla owner has a solar and power wall, but that will obviously become more popular. And it's not mandatory to run your Tesla with solar. Tesla are just offering all these extra services and products associated with getting yourself from one place to another. Tesla do of course offer a full charging network too, for when or if you're not able to charge from the convenience of your home or place of work. This would not only be like if Ford owned their own gas stations, but if Ford owned an oil company too that supplied the gas to the gas station. Oh, and if Ford also owned the oil mines that supplied the oil company. I don't believe even Henry Ford's vision went as far as owning the oil mines. Although I believe Ford did have some of their own gas stations, Henry Ford was also a massive visionary when it came to vertical integration. And as you probably anticipated what I'm going to say next, Tesla insurance. Right, another cost of transportation. Of course, Tesla don't make cars, they make computers on wheels. These computers collect an unfathomable amount of data. They can also tell whenever any Tesla is involved in an accident. Okay, so they have a collection of cars that have been involved in collisions, and likely able to determine whether the driver was at fault. Therefore, this collection becomes drivers that have created a collision. They can see if your driving habits resemble any of these, and as a result, Tesla can offer reduced premiums for safer drivers and control more of the driving experience. Tesla insurance is simply more vertical integration. Now, this is really a subject in its own, but what other major, and I do mean major, cost or element is there to driving? Something huge that no other auto manufacturer could ever comprehend. The roads. Tesla can even control the roads. Well, perhaps not Tesla itself, but Elon Musk. That's right, the Boring Company. In fact, I hope Tesla do end up buying Boring, as I truly believe that company could be as big as Tesla. It is highly underrated, and it doesn't seem to be moving as fast as I would have hoped, but hopefully they will be able to make these tunnels at the targeted speed they're aiming for. But these tunnels are actually going to be designed around Tesla FSD too. I mean, even today, if we had invented FSD before roads, we could have designed roads around FSD, and it would have been a lot easier than what is required today. But roads were invented first. However, boring tunnels will come post FSD. I think the main advantage being that Teslas will be able to drive at a much faster rate than on a typical road, and of course a negligible chance of any accidents. Anyway, like I said, Tesla and Elon are vertically integrating every level of transportation. What else have they done? Well, FSD. That is a further vertical integration. What has that provided? A chauffeur. That's right, the actual driver as well. Tesla controls that element too. This is actually the largest cost saving there is from any single thing that Tesla offers. Removing a driver, or adding the value of a chauffeur. In fact, better than a chauffeur, as you have the car to yourself. Of course, accompanied with all associated in-car entertainment. Now, that entertainment system will have an app store too, which will be owned and controlled by Tesla. One more level of vertical integration again, along with Tesla's navigation. Tesla are thinking of everything, every step, every dollar that is spent on transportation. Tesla want to own and control it all. And then there are other parts of the cost of owning a vehicle, the actual payment or financing. Yes, finance is a very profitable industry. In fact, the finance industry accounts for 30 to 40% of global profits, if you can believe that. But if Tesla controlled the financing more, they could make it easier for customers to purchase a Tesla, which in turn would open up the market further. I will explain this in another video. From there, what else is left? Aside from owning all the apps in the App Store, which I don't think would be smart. We want YouTube, Netflix and Spotify. The other only major part I can think of is the tyres. Could Tesla start making their own tyres? Could Tesla revolutionize tyres and literally reinvent the wheel? Imagine if we no longer had to replace tyres anymore. Tyres on a Tesla aren't the cheapest. The wheels are big and they use low profile tyres. Tesla could possibly reduce costs there further again. I mean, sure, Tesla can come up with other services to offer software too, like they recently introduced a Sentry Mode Live View feature for $10 a month. But this is just adding more features and services rather than removing the cost of previous. I suppose Tesla could buy Idra and own the company that makes some of the machines that comprise of the machine that makes the machine. Tesla is pretty much a monopoly for Idra's gigapresses anyway, although we are starting to hear some of the legacy autos interested in gigapresses too. Herbert D saying he wants to make the vehicle from one single cast. Well, I think Volkswagen should learn to walk before they run first perhaps. Single piece casts are not Volkswagen's biggest issue right now. And of course, eventually, Tesla's robots could replace a lot of the employees, robots that Tesla also make themselves. I mean, really, there's never been anything in the world close to what this company can accomplish. Anyway, off the top of my head, I think that might be as far as Tesla's level of vertical integration goes, but usually there is something that some of you can think of that I missed, so let me know what other levels of vertical integration Tesla could take, aside from general manufacturing. Thanks for listening, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.